Hey guys, we're in the ace match between WhiteRa and Mil.DieStar of the MSI Pro Cup, and since it is a BO3, that means the score is tied up 1-1 in game number 1. DieStar won on Shakura's Plateau with a Ninja third base, playing a little bit cheesy macro style. In game number 2, WhiteRa won when DieStar again went for a little bit of a cheesy build, this time aggressive instead of macro oriented. Did a one base timing with Ravens and Bio, did not work out. Additionally, he did pull SCVs, but WhiteRa just had the stellar defense, and that just shows when WhiteRa does scout exactly what his opponent is doing. And it wasn't even an exact scout, it was okay, you're going for a one base timing attack. He knows how to defend. He can build a base and then defense it, as WhiteRa would say, because that is what he is known for. He has so many different builds. Once he sees what his opponent is doing, he isn't going to lose. He's going to formulate a build which does very well against that. But in game number 1, he was missing the scouting information, couldn't formulate a build for something he couldn't see. Very hard to know that your opponent took a Ninja third base if you don't go and scout it. And that's maybe why he lost the game, because his build just wasn't efficient, didn't incorporate, oh, he has a huge macro advantage, he is ahead of me on econ when I'm containing him to 2 bases. Of course that's not going to work. We do have the probe coming in, now going to harass the SCV just a little bit, but DieStar already pulls one SCV to go and attack the probe. Probe pulling off just when he has no shields, going to be even going back because he actually had 5. Realizes, okay, now I have no shields, I can regenerate and then go back in and do a little bit more. Going to be picking up a few minerals right here, and will he make his way on up into the base? DieStar going to be getting the gas, so he will not be going for a 1-Rax Expo. Probe does come back in, harassing a little bit more, and now taking some actual damage on that probe. And WhiteRa just microing that one thing around. He is not going to go for a Nexus first. The last time he did scout the gas, he went for a Nexus first. This time, not going to be doing it. And now harassing the SCV a little bit more. And we'll see exactly what DieStar ends up doing this time with the gas. He is getting a Marine out to kill off this one annoying probe. Probe sees the Marine coming out and now going to be going back into the mineral line. And SCVs were pulled. The probe now going to be coming back off. That SCV is down to 10 HP. A Marine, though, is out to put an end to this one probe's life. Waiting just outside the smoke for it to come out. The probe trying to ninja his way around that one Marine. DieStar's like, no, that is not happening. The probe is making a run for it, but he can't get out because the wall is up. And he is going to be going back to attack the SCV and does take that out. The other one does avenge the life, but killing off an SCV, not too bad. We do have DieStar going to get the scout off on WhiteRa, see exactly what is happening. WhiteRa does see the, no, he doesn't see the tech lab down. Instead, he favored killing the one SCV, so right now, he favored killing off the worker, then getting scouting. It may have been smart for him to try to bait the Marine to this side, go over here and see if there's a factory or a tech lab on this barracks. I think that may have been better than killing off one SCV. Yeah, killing the SCV feels good, but if you don't know what your opponent is doing, it could be pretty bad. We do have a Zealot walking his way across the map when a Reaper is going on down here, and I don't even care if this is a Squirtle Zealot. It's not going to be ending any games because, well, the Reaper can easily just kite this, and even if Squirtle was controlling it, the Zealot is a goner. Sad to say it, but yeah, the Zealot goes down for absolutely free. That is a relatively big loss for WhiteRa in the early stage of the game, but DieStar, he is going for a expand. This is a Reaper expand. If he's doing any type of 2-Rax builds, this would be very hard for WhiteRa. Now WhiteRa going to be moving up with the Stalker, sees the Reaper, and generally you wouldn't be doing anything other than a expand after this Reaper. We do see the Reaper making his way back and will keep that alive with 10 HP. You generally, as I was saying, you don't see a Reaper built go across the map and then go for a 2-X behind it. Generally, it is a Reaper expand. That's why the build is called Reaper expand. So even though WhiteRa doesn't see that command center down at the natural, he may assume it is there, and that may be why the Stalker did come down, sees the Marauder, and now he knows, okay, there's stuff being built out of the barracks even after the Reaper, so there may be stim or something going down. Maybe WhiteRa can make that conclusion. He knows it's not going to be like any tanks, which sounds silly, but every now and then it does happen. Antiga Shipyards, though, not one of the good maps for 1-1-1 with a big tank variant. It's much better for Cloaked Banshees, mainly because you do have this ramp, which you can defend much like Shakura's Plateau. We do have WhiteRa now moving out with his probe, trying to get some type of scouting, because right now, all his scouting information is based upon assumptions, assuming that what DieStar's base looks like based upon what his army was. That's all the scouting information WhiteRa has. And when you have assumptions, it is good to assume what your opponent's doing. It gives you a chance, but also when you make assumptions like that and you are wrong, you often lose games. Assumptions are the #1 way to lose games, assuming, oh, he's not going to 6-pull me, I'm not going to scout, and eventually, yeah, he will, and puts an end to that. We do have WhiteRa now pulling his way back, and interesting enough, back in one of the first IEMs against MC, that was one of the things that made WhiteRa lose the game. Assuming that MC wouldn't play cheesy, MC seeing the scout timings of WhiteRa in the finals again of, I think it was an IEM. And proxied a gateway because, like, well, WhiteRa went for a 13-gate scout. This is a free win. Stalker is going to come down. Marines were hiding off in the smoke. Picks off that Stalker. Now WhiteRa, he is losing a lot to nothing, really. Doesn't really kill off that much of DieStar. That Reaper has gone down. Did it go into the base? Yeah, it did come in and saw the 3 gates. And did he see the Robo as well? No, he didn't. Did not see the Robo facility. Just saw the 3 gates. And, didn't check the natural. No, he didn't see the natural, but assuming, he probably assumes that did happen. And again, WhiteRa getting charged. I really do not like getting charged first, because WhiteRa, you can see, he lacks anti-air, especially on Antiga shipyards. I've seen Marine King Prime do this against WhiteRa, and this is why I found out, like, charge can be a horrible idea. Because, look at this. With charge, you cannot defend a 3rd base against medevacs, because the Terran's going to have this area. If you come down here, Terran's just going to lift up, go in your main, and kill buildings. So, also, what DieStar could be doing, drop off a few Marauders up in this high ground, snipe maybe like the Cybernetics Core, leave a bunch of units down on this low ground. The Zealots, if they go to kill these Marauders, picks up Marines and stuff, kill off Zealots. Zealots go down here, medevacs pick up, elevator up into the main, and it's just so hard to deal with drops. DieStar does throw down a scan, sees 3 more gates go down with this Robo facility, and that is going to prompt him to get these 3 bunkers up. And maybe he did that a little bit before once he saw maybe the 3 gates, but he does get 3 bunkers and actually sees all those gateways in the Robo facility, and looks like he may think it's a good time to move on out. Observer going to come, see none of the bunkers occupied, and yes, he is going to see DieStar moving on out. DieStar had the scan, saw these gateways building. He's like, okay, the gateways just started. So now he's like, I can do some type of timing. Those gateways aren't going to kick into effect just yet. So if I move out, I may be able to take advantage of that. And WhiteRa going to be over off to the side. There are medevacs. Just 1 medevac, though. But still, he can do so much annoying things with that 1 medevac. Again, doing the drops. Additionally, you place the factories right here. And one of the few stalkers you have want to go up here to deal with the drops. They auto-attack the factory, which is something Marine King Prime is known for doing. And it's just one of those annoying big things that opening charge is bad against. DieStar, though, gonna be pulling back. If he knew the charge was there, he'd probably capitalize on this. But WhiteRa is gonna get the storm up. And there we go, charge is revealed. And DieStar sees all those zealots gonna be coming in, try to do what damage he can. WhiteRa getting the +1 armor, now also getting the +1 weapons. DieStar focus that. You can see him just trying to bait some charges out, and when he does that, he can easily pick off a Zealot. Now some force fields going down, trapping units, but the units can just go up in medevacs if they need to do so. Force field's not going to do all that much, even work against WhiteRa. All they can do is disengage, and now WhiteRa, he cannot take a 3rd base, because again, DieStar is going to control this area. If WhiteRa tries to attack DieStar in this area, lift up and do a drop. Additionally, all the gateways and stuff right here, I think even in range of this low ground. So DieStar, if he wants to do pressure, he can capitalize on that and do so much damage right now. It is ridiculous how much damage DieStar can do. But it looks like he is not going to be doing that. Sees High Templar. High Templar can be a little bit scary with dropships. And scan does go down, kills off the Observer. And faked a drop. And now going to come back, so maybe he killed the Observer, immediately went in the medevacs, as knowing that you still have vision a little bit after you kill the Observer off, making it look like he made a mistake picking those units up in medevacs, forcing WhiteRa to come back and defend against a possible drop, but deciding not to do it. I have no idea why DieStar did just do that. Probe is going to come. See, DieStar is on 3 bases. And DieStar now sees all the Zealots moving on out, sees High Templars. There is Storm done, and Storm can be very good against Bio. DieStar not capitalizing on the fact that WhiteRa has no defense against drops. And I think this is a huge mistake from Mil.DieStar. We do have him just engaging against these charge lots. Storm goes down only on a few units. That Storm was definitely unneeded. Doesn't have that many more left. I think he only has one more Storm. Now you can see Mil.DieStar just trying to bait out Storms with one Marine at a time. Observer is going to fall. The probe does put a pylon inside of Mil.DieStar's base. Mil.DieStar immediately pulling off those SCVs, taking only 1-2 SCV losses. His Bioforce is going to come back. That does buy WhiteRa time to get energy up so he can storm again. And also, now he can take his third base. It's still a little bit risky because he doesn't have that good a defense against drops if the medevacs don't have any energy. This Zealot is going to get taken out. Actually going to kill a lot more. So maybe this is a squad a lot, as he does do a lot more damage than he should. Those Marines coming back, finishing the job. And Colossus is at 1-1. Mil.DieStar, though, is at 1-1 as well. Working on +2 weapons, but WhiteRa working on 2-2. Even Chronobus, you can see, has +2 armor almost done. But 4 Ghost are coming out, going into the work count. It is 66 SCVs, 254 probes. So Mil.DieStar, again, does have an advantage in the econ. And that's generally something you don't see. Generally, you see more probes than SCVs. We do have one Marine just on patrol, waiting for another base to come up. Even down here, just scouting all the bases. WhiteRa get a control over here, but again, generally you see more probes than SCVs because they can chrono boost those probes out and get them out very quickly. And going into the workers killed, Mil.DieStar's only killed 2, so it's very odd to see WhiteRa behind in the workers. Probably because he had to get his third base up so late. And that Zealot is getting chased down to 3 Marines. Templars are coming out. This one is near max energy. Can throw down 2 Storms, but there is a Ghost here. Observer is going to get bullied on away. Feedback on 1 Ghost. And now feedbacks on a 2nd Ghost. Gets both of those Ghosts. That's a big win for that single Templar. Scans going down. Sees the enemy. Knows, okay, there are Colossus. Mil.DieStar is getting some Vikings out. He has plenty of medevacs right now, just going to get a spread on his units. WhiteRa just getting more and more Colossus up. And Mil.DieStar going to be turtling up, getting a few bunkers up. And with these bunkers, it's going to be very hard for those Templar to just come in and feed back the Ghost, because the Ghost are going to be well behind that bunker line. And WhiteRa, if he sees this, he may just take another base. Anytime you see these 4 bunkers up, you can pretty much assume he is not going to be attacking you, because you just invest 400 minerals on stationary defense. Of course, you can salvage that and get it back, but this could be 2 barracks right now. And Mil.DieStar right now, supply kept himself at 185 supply. Getting that supply depot up right now. WhiteRa at 176 supply. And this 1 Zealot going to be chasing down the 1 Marine on patrol. And once this one goes, what are you doing, Zealot? He does turn around. So it looks like WhiteRa wants to take a base over here, I would assume. Sensor Tower does get built by Mil.DieStar. We do have 3-3 on the way by WhiteRa, and Mil.DieStar working on 3-2 right now. So WhiteRa does take that upgrade advantage. Nexus going down right here. The Zealot did kill off the 1 Marine. Still this 1 Marine on patrol, so Mil.DieStar knows there may be a base coming down right here since this 1 Marine did get taken out. And you can see all the forward pylons around the map by WhiteRa. Can warp in units so many places, and this 1 Sensor Tower does see the pylon. And killing off Marauders right now. There we go, killing off a Marine. Mil.DieStar just trying to get what mix he wants up. Surprised he doesn't kill off some of his SCVs. Killing off his armies is not something you generally see Terrans do, especially when they're oversaturated. This 1 base, like, you can see, he has a lot more SCVs than he needs. 69 SCVs is more than a Terran needs for 3 bases, so odd to see him kill off his army before killing off his econ. He is reproducing that with more and more Vikings. Maybe he used a scan and saw all the Colossus that WhiteRa has. That is quite a few Colossus. Generally for 1 Colossus you build 4, 2 Colossus build 7, 3 Colossus build 2. You kind of get the idea. Start off with 4, then the next Colossus you add 3, then the next Colossus you add 2. That's kind of how I do the Viking counts. And then you get up to like 10 or 11 Vikings. And at that number, that's enough. So he is going to be stopping around 9s. And there we go. 10 is going to keep on producing. We do have a nuke going down right over here with this 1 Ghost. But probes are getting pulled. And there we go. Even more probes pulled as Mil.DieStar does move on back. And WhiteRa can't really decide what he wants to do. Scan does go down, sees the army, and he is stopping off at the 12 Viking count, and that is more than enough. You don't really want more because 12 is more than enough to one Bali Colossus down. And once you go beyond that, then they just let the Colossus die and reproduce a lot of Archons instantaneously with Warp Gates. And then your Vikings like, oh, well, we are useless now. Not to mention they're way out of upgrades. And here we go, they are going to come in and try to take out the Colossus. Keep in mind the Colossus are at +3 armor, while those Vikings don't have any upgrades. And WhiteRa just going to go for the base trade. This does generally benefit the Protoss player as long as he doesn't overcommit to this, but DieStar is going to be pulling back. And I'll go into the theory behind that after this. Here we go, EMPs go down. All those Zealots do get EMP'd as DieStar is pulling his way back. Those Archons, though, still at good life, and DieStar is pulling back, losing quite a bit right now. Those Zealots doing so much damage, mainly just down to Marauders, and Marauders don't do good damage. Storm going down on his own Colossus. What was that? Maybe that was on Vikings, but all those Marauders do get cleaned up. And that's not looking good for DieStar right now. He is behind in the Econ. WhiteRa getting another base up. But again, if the Protoss can kill off the barracks, these barracks take around 140 seconds till a unit turns out of them from start to finish. While the gateways or warp gates take 75 seconds or 80 seconds, including the warp-in time. So 80 seconds versus like 140. Of course, if you kill off their barracks, they kill off your gateways. Technically, you can easily still reproduce quicker than them if you have the money stored up. You can see WhiteRa, though, huge bank right now. The army supply is favoring WhiteRa by about 30. And there's Vikings going to be taking out these Colossus. Archon scare off the 5 Vikings. No medevacs. So actually, he does have 4 medevacs, so that is good. Doesn't have that many ghosts. And WhiteRa only has 4 Templars, getting even more, and just massing them Archons right now. He is at 1 shield upgrade, knocking another one, getting ship level 2 though for DieStar, and now just working on +3 armor for his infantry. He is approaching maxed out again, and funny things happen when armies are maxed out. If they catch their opponent off guard to get beautiful EMPs and just outright demolish their opponent, they can snowball and come back. We do have plenty of Colossus, 4 Colossus. These Vikings, though, are in high enough numbers where they can kill that off. Back to 11 Vikings. And they are going to be flying over top of the Archons. The Colossus aren't that way, and all the Vikings fall down. The Colossus playing over to the left side, and there goes the GG by DieStar. Oh, man, that is brutal. And let's go watch the battle. I kind of focused on the Vikings flying over the Archons, getting demolished by that shockwave. And I just want to see the EMPs in this battle. And WhiteRa does take the series, so big congratulations to WhiteRa. Let's see, before the battle goes down. Ooh, that is a cool screenshot thing right there. The storm just happening. If only it had this range. Could you imagine that? But really, it's only this. Oh, that would be hilarious. So let's put a thing on the key units. Oh, there's Archons. Also a cool screen on that. I couldn't even see them. A little bit hidden. So the Vikings, you know, they go down. Storm doing some damage. EMPs go down, but what were those EMPs hitting? These Archons were alive. So there were EMPs. So looks like 2 or 3 went off right here on those Templars. 1 Storm does go down. EMP back here, getting Zealous, but these Archons in the front don't get EMP'd, and they just tear apart all the bio. Hope you guys enjoyed the series. Take care, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, and yeah, see you tomorrow.